Welcome to the next video. Now we're going to be utilizing that brand perception survey that you sent out. So again, if you haven't had a chance to send it out, pause this video and go back and send it out. It's so important. I can't stress that enough because you're probably thinking, who cares what everyone else says? This is about me. And you're right to a degree, but we also want to be using language and words and reviews of those who have been purchasing our product and know our product outside of ourselves. We want to remove ego from our brand as much as possible. And when we focus on just who we are and just our brand and make it about us, we're not making it about our audience. So, brand perception survey, very important. With that said, let's talk about the brand word jacking. Brand word jacking is really important because using proper language and photos is essentially the currency of Instagram. That's really all that you have to work with is the video, the photo, and the content that you write. You can also utilize a couple of other elements such as design when you're working with your Instagram account, but really when it comes down to it, the important part of Instagram are the photos and the people in the photos. And then outside of that, the words being used and tied to those photos. Words are so important. Words are really the beginnings of marketing. If you go back to old advertisements during the Mad Men ages, which was just in the 1960s really, all of those advertisements had words and the focus was on the words being used. These days, that's called a call to action. So making sure that we're using call to actions that really catch the eye of our users and our brand audience is going to be important. So this brand word jacking exercise is really going to help you hone in on some of the most popular terms and sentences used by your clients and customers. So let's walk through worksheet number 5. Worksheet number 5 is all about brand word jacking. You're going to take all of the brand perception surveys that you've received back and take the answers to the questions that you received and put them all into one document. Then I'd like for you to work through that document and highlight commonly used words, commonly used feedback, sentences that really stick out to you, things that make you feel really yucky, like, I hate this product. I think that it should be done this way. That doesn't feel good, but it's important because user feedback is the key to success. If we're not pleasing our users and readers and everything, like, what's the point? It's not just about us, it's about them, right? So, again, back to here, similar words, things that trigger the deep emotional reaction in you. Any words that might surprise you. There are times where I've looked through my brand perception surveys that I've sent out and people have said some pretty surprising things about me that I never really would have thought that I would call myself. The first thing was when it came to Game of Thrones. As you know by now, Mother of Marketing is a play on Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. And when I began my brand, it was called the Blonde Spot. And a lot of people said, oh, it's so cute. And I hated that. Like, I don't want to be cute. I want to be a strong, independent woman, right? So when it came to understanding the words that people would use about me outside of all of that blonde spot branding I had, people were using things like strong, opinionated. There were other people who were also saying incredibly knowledgeable. And a lot of people referred to me as a mother in the sense of nurturing and taking care of them as a client and a customer. So really thinking about how Daenerys took care of her dragons in the very beginning. Not the end of the series, people, okay? Stay on target with me. I wanted to really focus on how I could bring in that nurturing sense to my brand and also play on my nerdy side and also feel like I'm being myself and my true authentic version of myself without sacrificing any of the knowledge and the professionalism I wanted to convey as well. So I took those words and things that surprised me and really leaned hard into Game of Thrones and Mother of Marketing and Mother of Dragons and all of that so that I could really create something that was very unique and different and stuck out to people as opposed to just being another cute blonde marketing stuff. So once you've completed your brand word jacking exercises, I want you to take your top 5 to 7 words, phrases, yucky things, wonderful things, and add them to the list at the bottom of worksheet number 5. 5. This worksheet is really, really important because you're going to use some of the language that you gather in call to actions and your strategy later on. So make sure that you have that covered. So the next part of all of this is going to be turning the beliefs that you defined into behaviors. It's really important that we define these behaviors because without, behaviors and us taking actions on those beliefs, what's the point? Your behaviors are going to be key to your success. So before beginning worksheet number 6, please refer back to your worksheet from last week, worksheet number 3, where you wrote down all of your beliefs. Really kind of go through those and make sure that that's the most definitive version possible at this moment in time when it comes to your beliefs. Then take those beliefs and copy and paste them into the section of this worksheet here. I'm going to highlight it so that you can see it needs to go right there. This is important, especially if you're going to be doing a one-on-one call with me where we're discussing all of these things. I want to make sure that I can see all of your beliefs written out as we work through your behaviors. So again, this is going to be a time to reflect and to think and to really look more inward and really think about all of the language and the sentences and words our customers and clients were using about us and our brand when we're creating these behaviors. Think about what inconsistencies might there be between what I feel and believe and what my customers and clients and users tend to feel that I believe or what they want to have as a belief within the brand itself. Another thing you want to think about are which habits or behaviors are truly unique to you as an individual. For my brand, it's really unique that I'm really bold and brash and straightforward and incredibly detailed and specific about any aspect of marketing and branding because not a lot of people are. As you may have seen in some of our promos and our intro video, there are lots of brands who are teaching this out there but aren't really teaching it. They're talking about themselves. So after you've clearly defined your beliefs, I'd like for you to turn them into behaviors. This is going to be by far the most difficult part of all of the worksheets combined because you're taking a belief, which is just like a thought and a perception, and turning it into an actionable behavior. So take your time to really reflect and think about every aspect of your belief and how you might turn that into something that's within the physical world. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions about how to start turning beliefs into behaviors, always feel free to hit us up in the Facebook group. There are so many of us who have gone on to develop and create brands that are really strong in their context and their call to actions. But when you're just starting out, it can be really difficult and you may want to write and rewrite everything as many times as humanly possible. Honestly, that's called overthinking. And if you're overthinking something, you need to take a step back and really just give yourself the space to go and do something else that has nothing to do with what we're working on together. Make sure that you are giving yourself the space and time to really truly understand how to turn your belief into a behavior. I can't stress how important this part is. Every part is important. But that's it for now. Take the time to really think and reflect. And if you have anything that you need from me, you know where to find me.